South Africa looked set for a big total with 50s. First from Jacques Kallis.
Done it again. This might go all the way, does.
Put that away on the leg side. Cries of catch there. That's one for 6 runs. Another 50 for Jacques Kallis.
Then from A.B. de Villiers and Ashwell Prince.
Wow, that's a beautiful drive.
Beautiful shot. Shot.
And then a familiar batting collapse saw South Africa lose 6 wickets for just 25 runs. Oh, that's gone a long way up in the air. Couple of fielders going towards it. The catch is taken. That is a fantastic catch from Patrick Cummins. Oh, big shout, huge shout, and the finger goes up straight away. Oh, that's gone up in the air. Will it get there? Yes. Will Australia drive the advantage home on day 2? Or will the South Africa bowlers come to the rescue once again? We are at the Bidvest Wanderers in Johannesburg. It's the second Sunfoil Test match, day number 2, South Africa versus Australia.
Australia will come out here and look literally to bat for 2 days, which will give them clearly a huge advantage in this Test match if they can manage that. South Africa need to get amongst wickets quite early on and see if they can't keep Australia to somewhere near the total that they were bowled out for. Philip Hughes, left-handed opening batsman, 15 matches, 932 runs, averaging under 40, 2 50s and 3 centuries, but 2 centuries against South Africa in the same game, so they know all about him. There's no doubt about that. Shane Watson suffering from a slight hamstring strain which kept him off the field for quite a while yesterday, and meant that he couldn't bowl, but what a wonderful record. 2,047 runs, also just under 40, almost the same average, but hasn't been opening. Didn't start as an opener, started down the order, number 6 as an all-rounder, and now has made this a permanent slot for himself. With me, Sean Pollock for the first half hour as we look at Dale Steyn there, Sean.
Yeah, wonderful record there by Dale Steyn. Just under 23 average, 244 wickets in just 48 games. Man, hasn't he been hot property for South Africa over the last 4 or 5 years. And South Africa will be looking to him once again to try and make some early inroads. Ian Gould standing his 23rd test. And the other umpire is Billy Bowden, who's going to start us off here this morning from New Zealand. Reminded me about how they are the World Cup rugby champions when I saw him first time at the test match. And here's Dale Steyn, first delivery to Shane Watson.
And on target straight away. I've got to ask you straight away, Sean, having been an opening bowler yourself and a captain, that when your team has underperformed with the bat on day 1 and you've got a total similar to this, 266, it'd be really nice if that helicopter would go away. Did you feel, as a bowler, or all the bowlers, did you feel sort of extra pressure that the pitch looks pretty good to bat on, and is it easy to go out there and perform absolutely normally?
Yeah, well, I think, Jack, that's the thing about Test cricket. It is a team game, and sometimes the batters will let you down, and sometimes the bowlers will not perform too well. But you have to try and pick up the slack where the others have left off. And I think the way the bowling unit operated in Cape Town, they'll be feeling full of confidence coming into this match. The pitch, I think, is a good one. I think there'll be some good carry for Dale Steyn. They did roll the pitch last night before the close of play, before bad luck took over, and it was rolled again this morning. So it might be a little bit flatter. But I think Dale Steyn, as I say, he's been a spearhead for South Africa, and I don't think he'll feel any more pressure. I think the person who might feel a little bit will be Vernon Philander. He had a wonderful game in Cape Town, and he'll be wanting to build on that momentum. There's Dale Steyn's stats so far for the series. Wonderful game down there. And he really does bowl well at the Wanderers, doesn't he, Jackers?
Yeah, well, I think he bowls well everywhere. I just think he's such a good athlete, for one thing, and there's such an economical action. There's nothing awkward about it. As Alan Border said just before the match started, he will end up, I think, as one of the all-time greats. There's those are Staines' wickets in the first innings at Newlands. Very full, Sean.
Yeah, when you bowl it at 140 clicks and you get it some shape, you can afford to be a touch fuller than maybe the other bowlers. You'll see someone like Vernon Philander's wickets were more of a back of a length. We're watching Hazy talk to Alan Border and just having a look at where Philander picked up his wickets during that Cape Town test. And notice that would have been more like my kind of length, on 7 metres, just back of a length. You can't afford to get too full because you don't have as much pace as Dale Steyn, and you're not getting as much shape as well, so you need to be on a slightly back of a length. They complement each other. That's often what makes good partnerships in Test cricket, is bowlers bowling different lengths with different kind of actions.
Maiden over. South Africa bowled out on day one for 266, rocking along at 4 runs and over, but all out. Day was curtailed with bad light. The bowlers have changed very much how they bowled at Philip Hughes over the when he got the 200s against South Africa. He got a lot of runs behind square on the offside, and by and large bowlers were bowling a little bit too wide to him. Since then, countries have stepped that up, and you can see the majority of runs that he scored there, 34% in fact, against Sri Lanka in that test series, were through the mid-off area, which means that everybody's bowling a great deal straighter to him than they have in the past.
Yeah, Jack, he does get very square on when he looks to play the delivery, so it's not surprising that he scores a lot of his runs behind square on the leg side and square on the offside. But as you mentioned, it's probably a part of his game he's had to work on, because the bowlers tend to study the videos and work out what line to bowl to him, and Philander's been very good so far in the series, nice and straight at the stumps, mixing up with the odd short delivery. Hasn't bowled into his strengths.
Sort of wide. He signalled a wide there, I think, Ian Gould. And Graham Smith's asking him if he's a bit stiff this morning. Stifled appeal.
Yeah, Vernon Philander, another good delivery. He's carrying on where he left off in Newlands. Nice and straight. The bounce he bowled was called wide. It might have been a bit of a tough call. Hughes isn't the tallest batsman. And there's Gunner stretching his arms and Graham Smith asking if he's feeling a bit stiff.
First half volley of the morning, and dealt with beautifully.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this from Philander, getting it slightly fuller than the normal length he's been bowling, but Hughes more than equal to the task. Times it perfectly, doesn't even move out of the crease, he knows he's hit it well, and that's the area we're talking about where he's definitely improved since the bowlers have learned to bowl a tighter line at him.
Good adjustment from Philander. Now then, here we have I'm a superstitious old cricketer. And here we have a situation where South Africa did not agree with Ian Gould's call of a wide, so there will be an extra ball this over. They might agree if it were to take a wicket.
And it's 13 without loss, which isn't the luckiest number for Australia.
It remains the same, 13 without loss. Both these opening bowlers have been pretty tight. 13 without loss from just 6 overs. Philander 0 from 7 for 3. Steyn 3 overs 0 for 5. One play and miss so far. Ball hasn't swung all that much. And, I just wonder, Sean, whether a non-swinging ball is conditions, or is it sometimes to pick the wrong one out the box?
Yeah, I was always a firm believer that you had to pick the right one. I went to great lengths to make sure that my ball was going to stay on its axis and that the seam was going to be nice and balanced. And then often used to go for the darker coloured one because you thought that was something that was going to make it more swing a little bit more, but it hasn't done much this morning. It hasn't been much lateral movement. Good to see some young kids in the ground. Jackers, what do you think they're making of the Test cricket? I think they're more concerned about finding their best hero player and getting his signature. They've got their bats, they've got their pens, and they're off.
So it's good to see so many youngsters here. Pulled away, and pulled away very well indeed. 6 in front of square. Now Dale Steyn's no slow coach with the ball, and Watson has hit that beautifully.
Yeah, it's put that way comprehensively. South Africa have got a man back on the hook in front of square. Imran Tahir quite a way in front of square, and no, Watson's strong on the pull shot, and he's hit that out of the middle. The ball does fly a big distance here in Johannesburg, but that wouldn't have mattered what ground he was playing on. He's middled that one, man back, he's taken him on and done it convincingly.
Makes it quite an extraordinary shot. That's the fact that there's a man back there. Here we go again. Straight to that man, but along the ground.
Yeah, this time he's rolled the wrists, but this does tend to suggest to me that South Africa feel that the ball is not swinging and that they're going to try and change up a bit of their tactics. Steyn was very patient in his first few overs, looking to bowl good line of length, but now he's decided he's going to go to game plan B, get a few short deliveries in at Watson. He likes to take on the short ball. They've got 2 men back, and hoping that he'll make a mistake.
Another stifled appeal. Hasn't come back enough. He's got a little bit of a nick on it as well. No wonder the appeal was stifled.
Yeah, Hughes is one of those batsmen you just feel at some stage you can get past that defence and knock him over LBW, but if you lure him into bowling too straight, he will cash in all day long, flicking it square on the leg side.
That's off the back foot. So an expensive over for Steyn, a good one for Australia. 24 without loss.
So there's a look at David Warner. He's got his Australian cap on. He's second from the left. Long trip for him to come in and carry a few drinks. Of course, he zipped in as a replacement for Shaun Marsh, who I'm sure is watching this. He's had a few back problems. He was one of the Australian players. He played beautifully in Newlands in the first innings. Good partnership with Michael Clarke, the captain. He will be missed, I'm sure, because he looks a very organised player, just brand new at his Test career. Shaun Marsh, unlike this guy, nearly 150 Test matches for Jacques Kallis, just over 12,000 runs, holds down the number 4 spot now. Most runs in Test cricket in the history of the game, just gone past Brian Lara.
When he went to 10,000 runs, Jacques was asked, how much longer you got? He said, I've got a few more years. He's now gone past 12,000, as you point out, and I see, reading this morning, he says he's got a few more years.
Chatted to him last night. He said, with a smile on his face, he'll take every day as it comes. What I like about Jacques Kallis is the way that he seems to be very calm about his game. He always has been. I think we all remember, actually, when he first started, he was picked as a very young cricketer to play Test cricket.
That was against England.
Found the outside half of the bat. He's going to pick up a boundary. They all count, of course, for Australia at this stage. And he missed out first up, didn't he? He had a horrible trot first up, Jacques Kallis.
Just goes across Hughes here. Runs it off the face of the bat. Safely down at the vacant third man area again for 4. Yeah, Kallis, I'm not sure of the exact statistics. We'll ask Keith Lane for them, but I think his first 6 Test matches or 8 Test matches, he averaged just 6.
I think you're right. I think Australia might have been involved there as well. He's got that away for another boundary. We all know, any of you have watched Philip Hughes bat, we all know that is the areas, his scoring areas.
What makes him a difficult guy to bowl to is that the ball only has to just be missing off stump, and he views that as width. Other batsmen may just play a backward defence into the cover region, but Hughes is able to just give himself that little bit of room, and he plays that shot beautifully.
England were very tight to him, and he didn't score a run. Hotspot will show that he's finding the middle of the bat quite nicely. Kallis was 20, by the way, when he first played for South Africa. That's tighter, that's better.
And I think Philander got it right too, at Newlands. He got the ball over off stump, just over off stump. Anything wider than that, and Hughes feels that he can put it away square of the wicket.
Gee, that's beautifully played too. Again, it's backward a square on the offside. So 9 runs from this over at the moment. So they've got themselves a start, these two. Watson and Hughes, stand of 49 at this stage. $49 for none. Khawaja at number 3. He's been sitting on the sidelines for a while. Not his debut, of course, today. His 4th Test match, this one. But that's a big responsibility. He's a left-hand batsman. He's a qualified pilot. Not sure if that helps the cause at number 3.
Sorry. Oh.
One of those blokes who's worked his game out apparently very well.
Qualified pilot, I wish I'd known that earlier. I'm very fortunate enough to sit next to him on a Qantas flight from Johannesburg to Australia, so I would have felt a lot safer if he'd have actually told me that he was a commercial pilot.
Well, I've got another story for you as well, because apparently, and I don't know how long ago this was, but I don't think it was all that long ago, he was flying solo in a small plane. And I don't even know if my piloting knowledge is extremely limited, thank goodness. And he was flying in this small plane, a Cessna perhaps, I'm not sure, and the throttle, if it's called a throttle, I don't know what it's called, came out in his hand as he was trying to land or something, and he just had it snapped off him, I understand. He just had enough left in the machinery to be able to move it with his fingers so he could manoeuvre a landing. So yes, he would have been good to have next to you, HD.
And he's a quick thinker, so he'll be perfectly suited for the number 3 position.
The co-pilot, so to speak. So we talked about Shane Watson and the way that he gets well forward. He's on strike at the moment, just doing a little bit of gardening down the track, and it's very different, these interception points between Watson and also Hughes. Look at that, that's a nice illustration. Shows you where Watson is meeting the ball compared to where Hughes. Watson going forward, Hughes holding and staying back. He's got a glove on that, and he's got it away nice and fine for 4.
Callis just gets his line wrong here. He tries to dig it in. It doesn't get up as much as he would probably have hoped for. That's the line that just allows Watson to help it on its way.
He hasn't got a right shot, Collis. Supposed to play a holding role. That's the job he does these days. We know in the old days he was quite brisk. But now he just comes in for 4 or 5 overs just to do a job from one end to give the boys a bit of a breather. Generally swings the ball HD quite easily. That's 137 k's per hour, so that's hitting the bat reasonably hard.
Well, he's nearly played 150 test matches, so the one thing about him is he knows when he's needed to bend the back and when he needs to just hold the game. He does have the ability to swing the ball. He can bowl a very heavy ball. He was certainly quicker than medium pace in his formative years.
Another look at the fairly relaxed Khawaja with the skins on. We mentioned the fact he's a qualified pilot. Apparently got his pilot's license before he got his driving license. Was born in Pakistan. Moved to Australia with his family when he was young. And in the 2011 Sydney Ashes Test became the first Muslim. Beautiful shot. Absolutely superb. Magnificent shot from Shane Watson to finish the over. First Muslim that was to play for Australia. 65 for none.
Australia 66 without loss, and these are the men to come. Usman Khawaja, Ricky Ponting, great player. Michael Clark, one in the making, and Michael Hussey, huge impact in this team since he came in. And Haddin, Mitchell Johnson, Peter Siddle, Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon. Bit of cloud overhead. The expectations would have been that the ball would swing around a little bit, or quite a lot. That more from a hope, really. As far as the South Africans are concerned, hasn't done too much. The pitch is a good one. Some in it for the bowlers, but the batsmen able to play shots as well.
At the moment, it looks like Morne Morkel is the man most likely to succeed if he can string some good deliveries together. We saw him the previous over bowl an absolute ripper group of 6, and then he's followed up with a very good first ball to Shane Watson. So just to me it looks like one of those pitches that you need to be really precise with your length, and you've got to be, as you said, Pommy, really patient.
Nicely played. He's got it away. Piece of fielding here important. He does well to save one. Not particularly fleet of foot. Imran Tahir.
Yeah, awkward looking shot, but well played. Didn't bounce as much as Phil Hughes expected. Then Imran Tahir putting in for his side. The dive and the save. A little bit awkward looking, but effective.
I said the piece of fielding would be important, and I was thinking mainly for the little battle. The previous maiden over from Morne Morkel was to Phil Hughes. He was on strike. He managed to get a set of 6 at him, and if that could have been kept to 2, and then Morkel would have still been going at him and still been with tail up and thinking that he can get through his defenses somehow. Now, because they've taken 3, there's a rotation of strike, and he's got to start again at Shane Watson.
Subtle change in field as well. The bat pad coming in. Still maintaining the two men in the deep for the mistimed hook shot. But because Morkel's getting that little bit of awkward bounce, they put a bat pad in. So you see the two men in the deep waiting for the skied hook shot, but also the bat pad for the one that you just bend down or bat pad type. So good thinking from Graeme Smith.
He's got a good thing going. That over you were talking about and now he's talking about as well, AB. That's how he started. And down the leg side, a shout that wasn't, and then that sharp chance. And one to keep him back, and that to just finish it off. Fantastic set. There's a reaction time of that catch. In the air, but in the gap as well. Really good shot that from Shane Watson for 4.
Slight frustration from Morne Morkel. The ball was in the air for a long time, but comfortably in the gap. He's playing his shots, Shane Watson. On the rise, but not many fielders out there. A lot of fielders in the slips and gully. So a bit of a free swing through that offside. I suppose if you swing hard, the chance of being caught are minimal. So even if you get an edge, it will fly. So yeah, not a bad method.
It's off his head. It'll be leg byes for 4. Good bouncer that was, and Shane Watson knows it. 78 without loss. Australia in their first innings, responding to South Africa's 266. It's drinks. Look at South Africa's bowling figures. Steyn none for 16, bowled 4 overs up front. Philander in a spell, a second spell. Morkel none for 26. Look lightly. And Cullis into over number 5, none for 23.
Just checking his guard. He's been told that he's had his bouncer for the over as well. He's looked quite good, Phil Hughes. He's worked very, very hard on that technique that, as you've said, is all his own, but he's looking quite solid.
Nicely done, they'll get a couple. Yeah, there's always the talk of technique and how to do certain things. At the end of the day, I mean, I want to not so much compare him, but talk about Simon Katich as well, who was the incumbent prior to Hughes. Didn't look particularly pretty, but was mightily effective. The catch is the call, and they've gone up. No, says umpire Ian Gould. There'll be thoughts of whether to go upstairs or not. Not sure, they're not sure. They're thinking about it. 10 seconds gone by. No, he's not going to go upstairs. They would have had to be going upstairs for the catch. And there were 2 noises, by the way. Oh dear. From that looks like an edge to me. Got to wait for the hot spot. What are your thoughts, AB, from those 2 views?
Salmon trout.
Oh, there you go. Here's a look. From that angle, you can't quite tell the edge.
Oh, there's hot spot. There's the edge right there. Like I said, two noises in my ear. Simultaneous, because it was so close to the pad. And there's the thought, should we go upstairs, should we not? And the end skipper said no, everybody was in agreement, don't waste it. Well, wouldn't have been wasting it.
Well, there was no one that had any confidence, the bowler or the keeper in particular. So you can understand the skipper being reluctant to waste a challenge, but yes, on that evidence, and we get a chance to look at it in very slow-mo, and then the hot spot basically confirms just a little inside edge. So the rub of the green going definitely with the Australians at the moment.
That's well bowled. But scant consolation for Jacques Kallis. It's gone for 4. 96 without loss.
So a wonderful start there by Australia. 106 without loss, just trailing by only 160 now. And Vernon Philander will continue from the golf course. And Imran Tahir, in fact, made his way to the popping crease. And then Graham Smith said that he wasn't going to bowl and that Philander was going to continue.
Both batsmen on 49. Full News has been under pressure. He needs runs. Missed out in Cape Town, that was understandable. It was tough for an opening batsman there. Average of 39, not too bad. 300s and 250s, so it's all good, steady stuff. But he's trying to establish himself at the top of the order in the South African side, in this Australian side, beg your pardon.
And there's the stats against South Africa, very impressive. 2 Test hundreds in one match in Durban. He got off to a good start in his Test career, and then obviously things went a little bit awry. Obviously, having had a taste of the game, would have gone away and worked on his technique a little bit and what he had to do to be successful at this top level. And if he can continue in this vein and have a good innings here and then head back to Australia to play against New Zealand, it's the kind of catalyst in a person's career that can really take you to the next level.
Well, he's taken Simon Katich's place at the top of the order. That was a controversial selection. But if he gets through this Test match well, there'll be a real opportunity against New Zealand, and then later on against India. There'll be good series to be involved in from an opening batting point of view. So that's how it's unfolded for him. Started off well, 2009, average of 52, so that's excellent. Then it fell away a bit in 2010 and in 2011. But back in the fold now.
And there he brings up his 50 with a classy shot. Bit of width offered by Philander, and Hughes doesn't miss out. He smashes it backward a point. The Australians are overjoyed. Hughes, his 3rd Test 50. Just the start the Australians were looking for.
Gutsy innings, so good performance by Full Use. Good conversion rate as well, so 3rd Test 50 and 300s to go with that.
The square of the wicket is Phil Hughes' strength, so his eyes would have lit up when he received that delivery and put it away confidently.
All runs this time on the leg side. Yes, you referred to those 200s he got in Durban in that Test match, and his scoring area behind square was phenomenal. South Africa fed him there, and then at Newlands it was evident that they changed the line to him, bowled a lot straighter, and that was more successful.
Yeah, Philander in particular bowled well to him on that occasion. He edged him off in the first innings, and in the second innings he actually had him dropped his first slip by Graham Smith with a similar delivery, where he attacked mid and leg stump and then moved it away towards the slip cordon. But South Africa gone pretty defensive now. Ball's only 22 overs old, but with this partnership has been put under the pump. 112 without loss.
So some good shots played through the offside, both on the front foot and on the back foot. Favourite area, square of the wicket on the offside. A lot of runs going down to that third man backward point area. But a good solid innings from Phil Hughes.
And there's Hughes' wagon wheel. Doesn't score many runs through the mid-on area. If it is straight, he tends to work it behind square in the leg side, but there's power on the offside. Any width on offer, and he will punish you.
It's a good leave. Just a hint of away movement. Shane Watson also on 49. He's done really well since he's been promoted to open the batting for Australia.
Kibler, what do you think the plan will be with Watson going forward? I mean, I did see an interview where he said he would be prepared to move down the order. Obviously, they need him to do a little bit more bowling. It does help with the balance of their side. Strange to hear an Australian say he's happy to go down the order. They usually like to get as much time at the top as possible.
Well, I think he's done really well at the top of the order, so I wouldn't like to see him go down the order because he's got a good basic technique for an opener, and he's worked hard on his technique, and he's made himself into a very effective opener. But I guess if he's going to be required to bowl 20 overs or 15 overs in an innings, it's inevitable that eventually he probably will move down the order. But I'm not sure that his bowling is going to last that long because he gets injured all the time. And I think his batting is probably his prime discipline. So it makes sense to keep him at the top of the order as long as possible. I mean, you bowled a lot of overs. Would you have been comfortable opening the batting?
Better believe it. Any chance I would get to go up front? No, it's. I think Jacques Ellis has been remarkable at the effort he's put in over the years. But he bats at 4, so there's that little bit of time. And I know when he has some batting to do, he would often say, if they were looking to turn to him for a spell, listen, can we not get away with someone else, because I want to try and relax a little bit and make sure I'm mentally prepared and got enough energy for when I have to bat.
.50 for Watson, short and wide, and he's not going to miss out on that.
Yeah, another good shot here by Watson. He's been in good touch, scored all around the wicket. It's been an important innings for him. Him and Hughes have put on a good partnership here, set the tone for Australia. And Watson has been key. 9 for 74 deliveries, and that one pulled in front of square 6 off Dale Steyn. 16 50s. Doesn't really convert them as often as he probably want to, but he's got another opportunity today, and he's played very well so far.
It's been a very valuable innings and a good opening partnership. So first 50 for Watson against South Africa, first one at the Wanderers as well.
Yeah, there'll be a bit of concern in the South African camp as to what the tactics need to be going forward. It's just 2 slips in the gully. But the premier fast bowler operating, and there's Shane Watson's stats against South Africa. This is his best performance, so he'll be wanting to build on that. He's only got 7 other runs besides this innings.
Rock solid, good delivery to finish off the over. 24 gone, 116 without loss.
And here we have a look at the Shane Watson 50. That was the one in front of square of Dale Steyn. Been prepared to go after the bowling when it's been in his area. Hasn't been scared to hit it slightly airborne, and been very strong on the front foot. Driven well through the cover region and played well square of the wicket as well. And there's Watson's wagon wheel. Scored very strongly through the cover region. A lot of those have been drives, and the ones behind square have been any width that's been on offer. And then that massive 6, which was a fantastic shot, picked it up in front of square with the man back on the hook off Dale Steyn. It's going to be a change of bowling. Imran Tahir is going to get his first look at the Wanderers test venue. Only bowled a few overs in Cape Town, and he'll need to play his part here for South Africa if they try and, or are going to pull things back. This is the second game. His first class career Played 140 games, so he's got plenty of experience, 32 years of age. It'll be interesting to see if he can get some purchase and help South Africa make a breakthrough, which is definitely required.
We're talking about tactics going forward in the game, so what Graham Smith will be hoping for is that Imran Tahir bowls well, so he can keep him on for a long spell at the golf course end, and then maybe rotate the quickest bowlers in shorter spells from the corner drive end, so that way you'll get a nice pattern going. It was noticeable in Cape Town, as soon as Imran Tahir came on, Australia took a very positive approach.
And then they've given Imran Tahir a bit of protection as well this time. Bit of an in-out field. Got the short leg and the slip in place. And then there's a man back on the offside, and back on the leg side, as you can see, and a man at deep mid wicket. So they've given the protection. They're going to try and get him to settle down as quickly as he can and try and play his part.
Well, that's too wide. It's going to run away, or should run away for a boundary. Maybe not. Jacques Rudolph doing fielding. Imran Tahir doesn't really spin his leg spinner a lot. He relies on a slider and on a googly on the wrong end. So just another look at that piece of fielding on the boundary by Jacques Rudolph. So from a batting point of view, you're almost looking more for the one that just slides into the right-hander or the googly than you are for the real leg spinner.
Yeah, it'll also be interesting to know what the tactics are and what was discussed in the Australian change room as to how they want to approach Tahir. Too straight again on this occasion and worked in for one, because I mean I think they would be more concerned about making sure they played good test cricket and batted well, rather than focusing on which bowlers to target. But now that the foundation has been laid, I think if they do get an opportunity to put Tahir under pressure, you might find they do just that. And I think Shane Watson would probably be the man they turn to take the attack to Tahir. He pulls well, so anything dragged down short from the leg spinner he'll put away. He also drives well down the ground, and there's not going to be too much turn. Big day in Imran Tahir's test career.
Well, that's over mid-wicket. He pulls very well, Shane Watson. He's very strong on that shot, and that was a gift. Imran Tahir dragging that one down. Watson's not going to miss out.
Yeah, not a great delivery here by Tahir, but a bit of a risky shot. There was a man back, and he didn't get all of that at all. It was on the bottom part of the bat, but still enough contact, as you can see here. I'm sure Prince thought he was in business for a brief second there, but he's made good enough contact to send it over the boundary. 125 without loss.
"31 overs, almost 5 runs and over. No wickets." Morkel now to Watson. 2 slips in a gully. Worked away on the onside for 1.
Jackers, would you call this a turnaround? 47 one week, none for 155 the next.
I call it cricket because that's exactly what happens in this game. I just want to get back to Morné Morkel's reluctance to... he's going around the wicket now to Hughes. Because, as I say, he nearly always bowls around the wicket to left-handers. And Cook, Strauss and Hussey are the top 3 batsmen that he's dismissed the most times in Test cricket. And then Chris Gale's a little bit further down there, and Gambier in the top 10. So it's not that he doesn't enjoy bowling at left-handers. Knocked over Cook 6 times, Strauss 6 times, and Hussey 5 times. There are not many bowlers in the world can say they've knocked over Hussey 5 times. Taken all this time for him to go around the wicket. If he knocks him over now, I'd be asking questions.
Good first up delivery though, around the wicket. found some good rhythm. That ball was best part of 145 clicks. Probably the fastest ball he's bowled today. Just got that rhythm round the wicket.
Forward short leg slip. It's going to give Mark Boucher a bit of work to do. And there's a huge stagger from first slip to second slip. Jacques Kallis at second slip. Jacques Kallis must be 6 meters closer than Graham Smith. Not quite 6, maybe 3. You don't want to buy any land from me, Alan.
There is a gap there, Jackers, yes. And Graham Smith's giving himself every chance at first slip to cover a fair bit of ground. Yes, but be interesting to see if one goes down the middle. That's the way the session's gone, isn't it?
Yes, to a degree. Yeah, you see, that's the line that he bowls at left-handers, and that's just held its own a fraction. Glenn McGrath was probably the greatest exponent of bowling round the wicket to left-handers, of the seamers I'm talking about. Just managed to get it to pitch and hold. And given the angle that it's coming in from, it must be like batting against an off-break.
Yeah, it's a genuine tactic against the left-handers, because most left-handers are used to the ball going across them rather than the ball coming back at you.
Well, that's just a beautiful sort of forceful block that's flown through the covers for 4. Very vacant area cover, I'll tell you. And it's the end of the over. 159 now without loss.
And then a dramatic collapse. Morkel around the wicket again, nice and direct. We remember, of course, Morne Morkel last summer in South Africa, the way he was devastating against the likes of Gambhir from around the wicket, similar stature to Hughes, but he's now on 85. He hasn't quite got it right today. Morne's first over was very good. Dale Stein's the one that's concerned me a little bit, HD. He was certainly well below pace at maybe 135 at best, nudging 150 in Cape Town.
It's always going to be a concern when Steyn is below that 140 mark.
Good scrambling from Mark Boucher.
And I don't think that's because he's not a skillful enough bowler. If there's swing on offer, he is still more than capable of taking wickets. But he is such a danger, as we see a wayward delivery from around the wicket from Morkel. Steyn is such a danger when he is bowling it at 140, 145 and swinging it. And then is the perfect foil to Morkel. But Morkel's he was a little inconsistent from over the wicket. He's reverted to his favourite around the wicket now.
Philander's been tidy, opening with Steyn early today. It's protection out there. It's an indication of how proceedings have gone in that first session, and that run rate of just a little bit over 5 is very impressive. The other thing about this ground, HD, as you will know only too well, is that 266 that South Africa scored yesterday on a normal surface, a normal ground, might be 220, travels quickly along this outfield, and that's why Australia have got off like they have as well.
Well, I think the sponsors, Sunfoil, have made a bit of an error in donating all that money to charity for every boundary hit. They've chosen the wrong ground because there's so many that are managed at the Bidvest Wanderers Stadium. And the charities will be smiling.
So, of course, there could have been a wicket down this morning. If you've just joined us, there's Graham Smith. He decided not to send it to Billy Doctorow. Billy Doctorow, this is a Jacques Kallis to Hughes, the inside edge. The fact that the angle was back towards the keeper, to me, made a lot of sense. There was connection. You can see that there was a bit of jamming as well, perhaps. And certainly a bit of pad and also some bat going back towards Boucher, confirmed by Hotspot as well. So that wasn't reviewed. It's going to be such an important part of the game, this review, as we go forward, HD.
I know this is something very close to your heart, Mike. And so what I can't understand is that when we saw that replay, Graham Smith was probably the most animated of all when the appeal went up, and he has the responsibility of calling for that. So you wonder if someone else swayed him.
I think it was Jacques Cullis. He had a bit of a quizzical look on his face, and that's why Graham didn't go to Billy Doctrove. I'll make a point or two about that in a sec. I think is a way to go. Maybe a vision towards the future. That's the end of the over for Morkel. It was a reasonable start from him, 171 for none. Big shout. Last ball, the last over. Smith deciding not to send it to Billy Doctrove eventually. Perhaps didn't want to risk losing the last review, which is exactly what you were talking about before, HD. We'll have a close inspection after this first delivery as to what that story was with that ball. I guess you've always got to consider a couple of things when it comes to Morné Morkel.
Height, we've been talking about it over and over again. He bowls from such a great height that the bounce, and with Watson getting such a big stride in, you would think that it was going over the top, but there might even have been a little scratch.
It's hit him on the roll. Right on the roll. That's where it's... Oh, there you go. Okay, so the original decision is not out. It would have ended up being the umpire's call. Let's see if there was a little bit of a scratch. No scratch from hot spots. I think it was just on the roll of the pad. But it was the big stride that helped him. He's one of the few guys, actually, if you really want to think about it in world cricket, I think he's one of the few guys, if he is hit on the roll of the pad on the front foot, because he gets such a good stride in, that he's going to be generally okay.
That goes back to the original decisions that original things that umpires base their decisions on. If there's an element of doubt, the doubt goes to the batsman. And on this occasion, that's what would have been decided. There was a little bit of doubt. Big stride. Was there an inside edge? No, there wasn't.
Look at that stride. That's a massive stride. Edge. And terrific stuff. Wow, it was almost a bluff there. Almost a double bluff. It looked like there was some action in front on the sledge cordon, which in the end resulted in de Villiers taking the catch. Hughes gone for 88, but a couple wanted it.
Well, Philander bowled a superb previous over, and he deserves his wicket. South Africa have been much better since the luncheon interval, and Philip Hughes has gone in a very similar fashion to the previous test matches for 88, and Australia are 174 for 1.
So one down now. Khawaja has arrived at the crease. Qualified pilot. Very talented cricketer. Someone who doesn't normally get in too much of a rush in the middle, we understand. Just playing in his fourth game, average of shade under 30. Best of 37 against England, so he'll be pretty nervous, even though he's smiling on that shot. Philander. Nice and solid first up. South Africa will be delighted to see the end of Hughes. He's played well.
Philander's got his line right. It's just bounced a little bit. You know, Hughes always tries to get the ball behind square on the offside. It's a good catch from de Villiers, considering Kallis probably... Well, that's probably Kallis' catch.
That's an outstanding catch. Have a look at AB's reaction. He can't believe that Jacques Kallis hasn't gone for that. It is an absolutely brilliant catch from AB de Villiers. Magnificent stuff. Very important, of course, as a slip fielder, that you know what your area is. Jacques Kallis has been standing in that region for a long time. AB, of course, doesn't often field at first slip. Jacques Kallis knows his area. Let's have a look and see if Jacques should have gone for it. Of course, he's got the confidence of AB behind him. In a normal situation, you would think second slip would have probably gone for that one.
I think the critical thing, though, is that Kallis doesn't really move. Sometimes what happens is the second slip can go to take the catch and then withdraw, and that can put the first slip off.
Absolutely, it can. Nice forward defence, but a terrific over from Philander. That's a wicket maiden. Brilliant. Wicket maiden, I should say. Brilliant from him. 174 for 1.
Watson not out 78. Hughes, recently dismissed by Finland. A wonderful catch by A.B. de Villiers at first slip for 88. It was a well-played 88 as well. And Khawaja in just his 4th test match now at the crease.
Just a quick little look at the law books, actually, in respect to what we were talking about before, HD, about a professional spotter, if you like, in the change room, regarding the player review. It's law 3.2D. Last part of it says, if the umpires believe that the captain or batsman has received direct or indirect input emanating other than from the players on the field, they may at their discretion decline the request for a player review. In particular, signals from the dressing room must not be given. So that would need to be changed if it was to develop as I'm suggesting that maybe it could and follow the American football platform. We'll have to wait and see. I guess the first thing we need to do is get standardisation in the review so that every country's using it. Or every country agrees to use it, let me say that, and it's probably the best way to put it.
A window of hope for South Africa. A man on strike now with Morkel, who's just a baby in Test cricket.
Good stuff from a flying Boucher. Bit of exercise for Ian Gould, some might say long overdue.
There's still some life in the old man. In cricketing terms, I suppose he's not an old man.
In the firing line now, Khawaja. This is going to be interesting. He likes bowling to left-handers. We know that. He will step up a gear too. Sliding leg side. This is exactly what we were talking about at the lunch break, HD, where you've got a batsman who's been in the change room. He's been sitting on his backside for a long, long time, nearly 3 hours today. He's seen the batsman going at 5 and over all day. He hasn't had any looseners, no throwdowns, not like a tennis player, a nice warm-up for a couple of hours before a game or an hour before a game, a golfer, a rugby player on the sidelines with a training cycle. Time trial cyclist, of course, gets on the cycling machine as well. Baseball pitchers are in the pitching pen. For example, these guys are supposed to come out straight away, face someone who's bowling 142 k's per hour and be at his very peak right from the word go, from cold.
Tough ask. I mean, if you think about it, a tennis player actually gets to knock up with his opponent for 15 minutes before they start.
Hardly fair, is it?
Can you imagine Morkel saying to Khawaja, well, I'll just bowl you a few to have a few sighters and then we'll get things underway.
We'll start off with a few underarms and build you up, like they do in tennis, a few lobs. Then I'm going to bowl a couple of really quick ones, but you can stand away from the stumps because they don't count, as I practice my serving in tennis. Not sure I can think of any other sports, actually. In fact, let me just invite our viewers, wherever you might be, use the hashtag when you tweet. Hashtag best of enemies, and let us know if there are any other sports that you can think of, some professional sports that you can think of where players actually don't start from cold. Boxing's another one, of course. They warm up in the change room all the time. Punch bag, do a lot of work with their trainers. Not forget the verbal abuse of the weigh-in session the day before.
That punch bag doesn't hit back.
Formula One, of course, have a bit of a warm-up lap before they get underway. And then they just try and smash each other off the course in the first bend. Three from it. Correction. 4 from it. 178 for 1.
So make sure you get the drink on board. It's a hot day. Must be a tiring day when you come out and watch the game. Yes, lovely to take it all in, but out in the sun and burnt. Oh, past the outside edge. It was there for the cut, perhaps just bounced a bit more than Watson expected.
Tried to hit it too hard as well. He threw everything at that one, Shane Watson. Short delivery, very wide. Really tried to give that the treatment.
When there's a sustained period where bowlers manage to keep things quiet and bowl a lot of good balls, you get batsmen anxious to get a bad one, and when it does come around, sometimes they make an error. Oh, hello. Where's all this coming from?
Well, he slipped himself there, Jacques Kallis. That was 142 k's an hour. Terrific delivery, steep bounce, good aggressive short ball.
That's a great phrase. He slipped himself. He's been operating around 136, 137 kilometers an hour. Jacques Kallis. What a miss over his run up and a couple of deliveries. That'll be 4. Good effort from Dale Steyn. Was misdirected from Kallis, and Watson able to just collect runs.
Well, it was such a pity because the follow-up delivery after that good bouncer was so important. But it was too much leg side by Jacques Kallis. A lot slower than the previous delivery as well. And this outfield is very quick. Dale Steyn can do nothing to prevent the boundary.
Taking it on, there's a man out there. Oh, what a catch! What a fantastic catch by Imran Tahir. He hit it really well, did Shane Watson, and would have felt it would be off to the boundary. But Tahir intercepts, and to good effect. Australia 2 down.
Watson took it on. He's taken it on a few times today already. He didn't hit this one too badly, but what a good catch. Tahir making good ground, showing good catching technique, and Kallis strikes 2 valuable wickets for South Africa now after the lunch break. So Shane Watson gone for a well-played 88. Australia 192 for 2.
$192 for 2 now, Australia. And it is Ricky Ponting who walks out to the middle. Fantastic play has been throughout his career of 156 matches for Australia. Nearly 12,500 runs at an average of just over 52. There's the shot. And there's the catch. It went really quickly. And Imran Tahir anticipated and moved nimbly. Look at this for a celebration. He's not done yet. There we are. Come on. Super stuff.
A lot of relief there. He dropped a very easy one in Cape Town, so he would have been very happy that that one stuck.
Yeah, the relief also will be about getting into the game somehow. Didn't bowl well, hasn't bowled well in the time that he's been given. And the ball by his skipper. Now look at that spell. It was back of a length and shorter. Oh, feet stuck at the crease there.
Nervous, anxious moments for Ricky Ponting under pressure. We said that Kallis gets important wickets, and he hasn't disappointed. Got the important one at Watson this time. He's done it so often for the side.
You'll find his average is pretty good against most. 800s and 1050s against South Africa in 23 matches.
Successful over from Jacques Kallis, and it was needed by South Africa. 192 for 2. 88 and 88. The top two both back in the huts now. 192 for 2. Steyn will continue. In the commentary box, Sean Pollock and Robin Jackman.
Thanks, Pommy. Couple of bingo prizes. How's this for a catch, though? Real time. Absolutely. Now he don't know where to go. He's just scored the winner in the World Cup. Go, beauty! And again. He does celebrate well, doesn't he? Squeeze that down. There was a bit of bat before the pad. Dale Steyn starting to swing this ball all of a sudden. Sean?
Yeah, starting to get a little bit of shape. Probably got his tail up now. He realizes that there's 2 new batsmen at the crease. There's the presentation of the team, just angling back. Roger wouldn't want to be playing them too fine on the leg side from that kind of line. But yeah, Tahir has reason to celebrate. It was a very good catch. The ball came to him quickly, was dipping. It's not the easiest viewing ground here at the Wanderers. Can be pretty dark in the background, particularly when you're on the boundary.
Steyn to Ponting. 3 slips and a gully. Smith back on the attack again momentarily. Oh, that looks out. That looks so straight. Yes, he's done it. It looked out from up here. I think it looked out from square leg. But Billy Bowden was in the best position.
Dale Steyn knocks over Ricky Ponting once again. No review on this occasion. The finger goes up from Billy Bowden. Dale Steyn, he's shown much better rhythm and control in this current spell of his. And there it is. Just nipping back at Ricky Ponting. The delivery he's had some trouble with over the years. And early doors, Dale Steyn's right on the money. Going on to clip leg stump. And if it had been referred, he would have still been given. Ricky Ponting is on his way for nothing. Australia 193 for 3.
193 for 3 then. South Africa going through a nice little spell here. What crowd there is back into this game. Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, comes to the crease, averaging 46 in Test cricket, just over 5,000 runs. 16 centuries to his name, one of which was quite brilliant down at Newlands in the first Test match. And nobody else could get any runs till the second innings, and then 2 South Africans with their hundreds. There's Ponting. Alan Border was telling me he's playing brilliantly in the nets. He gets in the middle and the situation is what it is. Suddenly falling over just a little bit. His head was way over the offside of the ball there. Here's Steyn to Clarke.
Dale Steyn now has his tail up. He's got the crowd behind him. He's sensing this is an opportunity for South Africa. They picked up 3 wickets relatively quickly after Australia dominated the morning session. And the kingpin for South Africa, the premier bowler, has knocked over Ricky Ponting. And he now senses that if he can just get the wicket of Michael Clarke, all of a sudden South Africa are right back in this Test match.
Scream of no from Clarke. ...244 Test wickets, Dale Steyn. ...245 now, yeah. Add that one of Ponting's. Oh! 193 for 3. Steyn continues from the golf course end. Hands on heads from Boucher and de Villiers at slip. Good timing, 4 runs. Just a little bit full and straight from Steyn.
And you can understand that he's going to venture up a little bit fuller and try and knock Clark over. He did it against Ponting. He had a decent delivery of the ball before. But this occasion, just getting too straight, too full. And Clark equal to the task. He's in good touch. We saw that in Cape Town. And he doesn't miss out if you get too straight to him.
Gave him a hard time with a short ball in Cape Town, but this ball's 48 overs old. Still getting it up there. The short ball, and it's put him down momentarily. Whether he'll take the 8 count or not, no, he won't.
This could be interesting on ultra motion.
Just as painful.
Yeah. Oh. Some would dare to say bullseye.
That's on the big screen as well. Will it show up on Hotspot? It's up on the big screen. You just heard the whole crowd. Brings tears to your eyes.
Or to his.
Whether he's threw the shot too soon on this. Oh no, he's inside edged it. Makes it more unlucky.
Yeah, I think Clark hasn't quite worked out the bounce on the surface as yet. He had one ball, the last ball of the over before of Dale Steyn, that he also went over the top. Billy Bowden found it amusing. It won't be amusing for Michael Clark.
It's amazing how everybody laughs and they all know exactly how it feels. 199 for 3.
88 for Hughes, 88 for Watson. They'll be disappointed, both of them, that they left the arena 12 shy of that magical 3 figures. However, a very good start. What an opening stand of 174.
You play a bit of bingo, Hayes. 2 fat ladies. 88?
Yeah, correct. No, my answer is no. You do, obviously, though. I mean, I'm too young for that, AB.
You answered in the affirmative, Baseman.
Very briefly. 20 minutes we've got to go. Skipper's not very happy at the moment. He's having a go at the boys. There's people running all over the place. No one seems to know what's going on. I picked in the stop mics that he's saying, come on boys, it looks like a shambles out here. He's a good judge right now. He'll have a little bit to bowl into from around the wicket.
Yeah, not a lot of foot marks at this stage of the game, but just a little bit of assistance to get it into that rough outside the left-hander's off stump.
Shorty's got that away. He'll dine off that. Well, Khawaja, I would suggest that he might have needed that boundary.
Well, his first, he's been out there a long time. He's really had to work hard through some really good South African bowling, and then he got a freebie, and you're not going to miss out on that. That's the position you don't want to be fielding when leggy bowls the half tracker.
Two positions in the game of cricket you don't want to be too good at: short leg or 12th man. You might note that he's got number 419 on his shirt, Khawaja, 419th player to play Test cricket for Australia. Cummins, he's got 420. There is a bit of protection, but you might have heard Khawaja's call of 2 initially and a loud scream of no to finish. There's that 419. It's the short one on the leg side. A couple of balls ago. What number were you, AB?
299. So we've had quite a few since 1978.
Now help me out with this, Alan, our good mate, and I'm sure he's watching this telecast at the moment, Michael Slater. What's the story about his number and a subsequent tattoo?
Yes, true story. I don't remember the number, but he and Brendan Julian debuted at the same time. And the numbers were actually allocated on alphabetical order, Julian being before Slater, and Slater assumed that it was because of the batting order, in which he batted 1. And he subsequently got a tattoo on his back or shoulder somewhere, the wrong number.
Well done, Slats. It's not as though it's permanent, though, I suppose. It's the wrong one. To end the over, 6 from it, 207 for 3. Now Michael Hussey is due to come in next. It was very rare to see him miss out in both digs and drop a catch in Cape Town, so he'll be very keen to put that in a distant memory by performing well in this Test match. There's no doubt that Haddon as well will want to perform. Morkel again. Gee, that's a beautiful shot. It's got to be one of the most pleasing shots you can play in the game of cricket. Line and length was very good from Morkel, but just have a look at his positioning from Clark.
Yeah, textbook stuff. Quickly onto the back foot, nice straight blade, and just playing through the line of the ball. And if that's in the gap, that's going to go to the boundary. Unfortunately for Michael Clark, straight to the fielder.
Eased away into the gap on the leg side. That's where he can't bowl. Of course, every now and then there's a bit of a release, and it's going to go for 4. Goodness me. An extraordinary piece of willow, one would suggest. Brilliantly timed as well, though. It's a quality act in its hand.
And again, the lesson to all you youngsters out there watching, didn't overplay the shot. Just worked the ball onto the onside. No real flourish. Just kept the ball down, worked it into the gap, and with the timing, picks himself up 4, minimum of fuss, right out of the meat of the bat.
Of course, it's a long day in the park at the moment for the South Africans. There's a couple of applicants.
Just finishing off that Michael Slater story, Hayes, there is a happy ending. Australian cricket allocated the correct or the reverse numbers to Slater and Julian.
Huge sigh of relief for Michael Slater, I'd imagine. Got an edge. Has he taken the catch? Yes. This time he's gone. couple of catches went down in Cape Town. A.B. de Villiers has got that one too. He's taken a very good catch earlier. That is a massive wicket. The captain is a very, very hard taskmaster. He won't like that at all.
Again, banged in short, a little bit of extra bounce, catches the edge. And A.B. de Villiers, what good hands he has. He doesn't make mistakes with those, and that is a big wicket for the Proteas. Morkel celebrates. The Australian captain departs. He's made 11. The score 4 for 211.
So Michael Hussey has arrived. As I mentioned, didn't get going at all in that first test in Cape Town, but look at those figures. 5,114 runs, 64 games now, average of 52, 26 50s, 1500s. We know he's a fine player, but 1-0 in Cape Town, dismissed both times by Morkel.
And this is the reason he's out there. Just a little bit of extra pace and bounce. Flying away to de Villiers at slip. Had plenty of time to have a look at that. Is very deep there at first slip. And they've been bowling that line outside the off stump, and it's got the results.
Good hands, A.B. de Villiers. Off the mark very quickly. Bit of a knock on, but no extra run.
He's always a busy player at the crease, Michael Hussey, and that's a good example of that. Just knocking the ball into the gap, taking off for the single. Always busy at the crease, always things happening.
Morkel in action at the moment. Hussey has just arrived. Let's have a look at a bit of a pattern to see if there is one in Cape Town. That was the first one. On his way. And then caught in the gully by Ashwell Prince, a sharp chance. The pattern is Morkel. One from around the wicket, one from over the wicket. Oh, that's a nice little blow as well. Have to rub that one when the bowler's got his back turned. 213 for 4.
The Australian scorecard dominated by Watson Hughes at the top of the order. A fantastic opening partnership, but in the face of some good South African bowling since the luncheon break, we've seen 4 wickets fall, and Khawaja has been made to really battle, and Michael Hussey's just arrived at the crease. So a really good session for the South Africans today.
Michael, that's middle stump, mate.
Really has been a terrific comeback from South Africa. We saw that yesterday when Australia were brilliant, picking up their last 6 for 25. Khawaja seems to have recovered okay. He's the non-strikers in now. It's intelligent batting. You might have heard the call of 2. Khawaja, I guess, could do with a little bit of a trot up and down at the moment. After this,
yes, angled in and copped it. Nasty blow. That hurts.
Bring a tear to a glass eye.
It certainly does.
It's through and it's going to go for 4.
Well, as we suggested, Michael Hussey very busy at the crease, and straight away only faced a couple of deliveries, and that's a bit of a signature shot, the Michael Hussey cover drive. Good placement, good power, especially early on in the innings. He Doesn't miss out too often.
It's game it.
Absolutely no doubt he's going to be one of those leg spinners. We know that he's experienced at first-class level. But this is a different step up. He's going to need a couple of early wickets to feel comfortable. He's going to need lots of encouragement as well from the South Africans.
Just have a look at how the ball comes out of the fingers.
He's got about 4 different deliveries that he bowls. Pretty impressive stats. 585 wickets. Average of 25, 140 games. Played a great deal of English, or county cricket I should say. Born in Pakistan. Second player on the pitch at the moment, if you like. That is of the batsman and the bowler. The 2 batsmen and the bowler born in Pakistan. 220 for 4.
Something that doesn't happen very often at the Wanderers. Once the ball's nicked, not carrying. Twice Hussey's been fortunate. And this one going down to 3rd man for 4.
Do you know where that's gone? That's gone almost exactly where they released that extra catcher from after he got driven down the ground off the first ball of the over.
This is something nice for the bowlers. He's covered nearly 10 kilometres in the day so far, Dale Steyn. Just a kilometre sprinting, but they certainly do get through some work.
I think I might have walked around the world in my career, you know.
Something I'm a little bit surprised about here is, I know that the ball's 59 overs old, but there's a cover in place. Khawaja's got 12 or 56 deliveries. He's struggled to get the ball away. Your main fast bowler, strike bowlers on. Maybe Graham Smith would be thinking about Amla at cover, going into a catching position, trying to force Khawaja to try and penetrate that cover region.
That is so straight. Yes, Mr. Gould. Wow, that's straight. But it is being reviewed. The review didn't come quick enough to indicate that he hit the ball. He's just saying to the umpire, I think that might have been what? A bit high, a bit down the leg side, a bit what? It just looked perfect from up here.
Well, it's a legit delivery. It does swing back into the left-handed Khawaja, so pitch is on. Oh, I'm afraid. I think he might be on his bike.
They'll look for hotspot, but he would have gone upstairs straight away if he'd hit it. Didn't have to ask Mike Hussey what he thought. I think he's going to be very fortunate if this proved not to be hitting the stumps and what we've seen so far.
Unless he's asked for this to be preferred because they feel that they've still got 2 available to them, so they might as well take a chance with Haddon and the tail to come. But by all accounts, umpire Ian Gould has got this spot on.
So Khawaja goes for 12 then, a patient 12, 228 for 5. Brad Haddin, his best score is 169 against New Zealand. He averages 36 in Test cricket with 2,000 runs and has not enjoyed a good time of late.
Straight off the tee, Graham Smith turns to his premier fast bowlers, Morkel and Steyn. He needs them to strike. South Africa are in the game. Steyn does just that. A little bit of swing back into the left-handed Khawaja. Umpire Gould had no hesitation. It was hitting halfway up middle stump. It was referred, but there really wasn't any need for it. It just looked perfect, and so it was.
I just wonder what the conversation was with Michael Hussey, you know. I mean, it was out, 228 for 5. Here's Steyn. Just looks as if he has beautiful rhythm from the call-it drive end. I find this often with Dale Steyn, that he starts and then when he never really starts all that badly, but he starts and sometimes he's like an end bowler. He suddenly changes ends and he finds a better rhythm at that end. I've seen him do it in lots of different grounds.
He also tends to just get better and better as the day goes on, which is tough for a batsman, because normally you feel that it's a bit difficult against the new ball, and as he gets into his third and fourth spell, so you can capitalize. But Steyn's pace seems to increase, his discipline gets better and better. Not that it's that bad ever, but he just gets better as a bowler as the day progresses.
Well played. That got a little bit big on him. He played it very well.
Got out to a peculiar stroke in the second innings at Newlands, Brad Haddin. And I'm sure he will have been saying to himself, I need to show some courage, number one, against the pace of South Africa. Some discipline in the way I hang around. It's my responsibility as the number 7 to, if I'm with a batsman, to help contribute a partnership and then shepherd the tail. He's done it before on a number of occasions, but he has struggled of late under pressure.
How far did you say Dale Steyn had walked today? Did you say nearly 10 kilometres? Over my first class career and List A career, it's not nets, not club cricket. Not in the field, not walking back to bowl, not following through, just the run up. 1,654,240 yards, which is 1,513 kilometres. No wonder I'm only 5'8".
And you still take the lift up here.
Steyn is pumped.
Another superb delivery from Dale Steyn. He's getting a little bit of swing with a ball that's 62 overs old. Hussey caught a little bit in the crease as his stumps rattled. Steyn has struck for South Africa. They've certainly turned it around. From lunch they've been magnificent. Hussey's gone for 20. Steyn strikes Australia 233 for 6.
Mitchell Johnson, the man in. His best is 100 against South Africa. 13 runs, 2 wickets since tea. And Mitchell Johnson's made his way out there as a result of this.
And the world's #1 fast bowler is getting it right in the afternoon. He's swinging it, he's got his length right, he's troubling every single Australian batsman. And along with the rest of the South African attack, we've brought this test match together again. What a contest we have on our hands here.
6 for 64 Australia have lost. Steyn 14 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 51. 174 for 1, 233 for 6. And this will be, this will start that Australian dressing room going a little bit, saying, well, don't tell me this is happening again, surely, you know. What an unbelievable test series between these two countries it's been so far, with the ebbs and the flows. It's just such a shame there isn't a third test after this one.
Well, with the amount of time that the tests are taking, they could always squeeze one in somewhere along the line.
That's such a good delivery. Hussey, I think, will probably say maybe he should have got forward. He was back to quite a full-length delivery.
$242 for 6. Haddon on 10. Johnson yet to get off the mark. Mrs. Bevan out on the grass embankment.
Good delivery going across the left-hander. Vernon Philander in obvious discomfort.
The phrase "bite the bullet" comes to mind.
For the team, that's what it's all about now.
Yeah, and for himself as well. It's a case very much of, he gets an opportunity, as he did in Cape Town. He made full use of it, and then you want to make sure that you cement your place. So you want to make sure you're there. Well bowled. Good effort in that. Back into the 130s, which is normal pace for him.
Another good delivery again going across the left-hander. They've got this ball going nicely.
Absolutely no question as to his skill. Vernon Philander, he can bowl in those good areas. He showed that in Cape Town. He's done so domestically for a long time and gets bags of wickets. When the going gets tough in Test match cricket, you'll hear many a bowler say, you won't find too many days where you go out there and you feel no pain at all. Up in the air, just over. It's Morne Morkel who's at mid-on, so if he can't get to it, then nobody would, really.
It was a good bouncer, the surprise bouncer. Mitchell Johnson didn't hit that in the middle by any means. Could easily have gone straight to Morne Morkel. He was dismissed like that as well. The first test match when he miscued a pull shot, but this time gets away with it. So good work there by Morne Morkel. Yes, as a bowler, resilience is what you need to survive in the harsh environment of Test cricket. One good performance doesn't make a summer. You have to be able to back them up.
No surprise, really, that Vernon Philander had a go at bouncing Mitchell Johnson, because that's how he got him out in Cape Town.
Nearly a carbon copy. This time Mitchell Johnson just got a bit more on it, and also with the altitude the ball just travels further.
It certainly didn't go in the area he wanted it to. It's a moral victory for the bowler. In the air, catches the call, it's in the gap, and it'll go for 4.
Living dangerously, both batsmen at the moment. There's been some opportunities, but they just haven't gone to hand. Australia now trail by 17. Brad Haddin continuing to play shots and chance his arm. This ball was in the air for a bit, but he picked that gap at extra cover.
He said he'll continue to play his game. He's by nature aggressive. That's the way he looks to play. Thinking of 2. Comfortably back. 251 for 6. Imran Tahir into the attack again for a 3rd spell. Oh, much better in his 2nd spell than he did in his 1st. Looked out of sorts, well out of sorts in that 1st spell. Probably a bit nervous as well, it seemed anyway. And Cape Town struggled. He needs to get it together, really. He needs to get it together so he can contribute to the group. Very important, that.
A few issues with Imran Tahir and his technique and his bowling and his strategy. He's been running in the danger area today, so that wouldn't have helped his confidence. His run-up, in my opinion, is far too much on the angle, so that means he can't get off the danger area quickly enough. Also, that inhibits his lines to the target. He's closing himself off a lot, so that means his leg spinner won't spin as much as it should. But yeah, I agree with you. He's got to try and impose himself on the game and make a contribution.
Great start. Fantastic start. The finger goes up straight away. Brad Haddin looking across to his partner. This could be #1 wicket for Imran Tahir in Test match cricket. DRS requested.
Well, he's made his contribution all right. This was a good delivery, a good first up delivery. Brad Haddin misjudging the line, played for the leg spinner. It was that slider that just goes straight on. Let's have a look at the foot. No problem with the front foot, so that's a legal delivery.
Yeah, and then there was a look further down the business end. He expects a lot of turn there, does Brad Haddin. He doesn't get much, so he's trying to adjust with the bat. Can't get it to the ball, and it hits him below the knee roll. Didn't turn a whole lot. Here's Hotspot, says absolutely no contact. So the question is, according to Hawkeye, will the ball go on and hit the stumps? Pitch in line, hit in line, bang into middle and leg, the top of it. So umpire's call was out. So it is out. Yep, Billy Bowden, there you go, gives the signal. Congratulations, Imran Tahir, you're on the board.
So this will help his confidence tremendously. It was a good delivery. Brad Haddin playing down the wrong line, looking for the leg spinner, but it didn't turn as much as he thought it would have. So another disappointment for Brad Haddin. His bad run of form continues. Australia in trouble, 255 for 7.
So 255 for 7, Australia, and it's Peter Siddle walks out to the middle. Best of 43 against England. Walks in at number 9. And this is why he's out there.
A good first up delivery. And what a throw.
Got to be right on the money when you start up your spell, and that's why. Batsman looking to just see what's going to happen. It's struck on the pad. And it's right in line. Super stuff. There is no tonic like a wicket.
Straight away, a little bit more bounce in the step of Imran Tahir.
Like that, tossed up outside the off stump. All of a sudden looks a different bowler. Yes, he's bowling to number 9, but the body language just changes totally.
And he's very much a confidence player, confidence bowler. There you go.
That's him. Look at him go. Imran Tahir loves it.
Well, that's why he's so dangerous to the Thailander, and that was a googly. That's where he's dangerous. He bowls a very good wrong, and Peter Siddle never picked this one. Turned back and turned back sharply, so that was a top delivery. So Imran Tahir, he strikes, he's thrilled. Just have a look at him. Emotion boiling over. 2 wickets in 1 over. Peter Siddle gone for naught. Australia in deeper trouble. 255 for 8.
I reckon it's really tired from the celebration. Look at him. Look at him go. He's asking the ump, have I got another one? He wants to bowl 2 overs in 1, I reckon. Look at him. Superb stuff. Brilliant stuff. Can't buy this, I tell you. Wicket number 1 in Test match cricket. You ask anybody and they'll remember where they were. They'll remember how it happened. He's got 2 in 1 over.
And the second one was a terrific delivery. We said that leg spinners love bowling to tailenders, particularly when they have a good googly.
And he set it up beautifully. I said a couple of balls before, like that, tossed up outside off stump, would have been showing him his leg spinner. .255 for 7 has turned to 255 for 8, and in comes Patrick Cummins, just 18 years old, starting out in the true sense of the word. This is why he's there.
All ends up, that'd be Peter Siddle. He never picked that googly. I mean, you don't really expect your tailender to be able to do that, even though Peter Siddle is quite competent with a bat. And just look at him go.
I want him to take more wickets. I just love his celebration. Superb. Double wicket maiden for Imran Tahir. 255 for 8.
Terrific stuff from Watson and Hughes today. They're going at 5 and over in the first session. They really played superbly.
Hayes, I thought 87 was the unlucky number for Australia. Not 88.
Off 111 balls for Hughes. He's bowled with a bit of serious intent today, is Jacques Kallis.
Yeah, had a bit of a niggle with his back as well. And Gould has been very strict on the short deliveries from a wide perspective. That one was banged in. There's the LBW shot. Made contact, good googly, but made contact well outside the line of off stump. So no danger for Cummins.
So the spinners have got 6 wickets so far in this Test match. Clark and Lyon getting 4 between them yesterday. Imran Tahir getting a couple now. Still 2 on offer in this innings. There's still plenty of time left in the Test. It looks like we're going to be pretty good for the weather tonight. About this time yesterday, we had some dark clouds lurking. We've got an hour of 10 minutes, correction, an hour and 20 minutes of play to go before stumps today. We won't get the full number of overs in.
Can't but stress the point that it's been a wonderful fight back by South Africa. Really didn't look pretty up until the lunch break, but they've obviously had a good chat at the lunch break and discussed the tactics going forward. They built some wonderful pressure with some tight bowling after the lunch break, and it's been very effective. 8 wickets have fallen, and South Africa are right back in this game.
That is a nice shot. Very nice shot indeed. All along the turf for 4.
Yeah, wonderful straight drive here by Mitchell Johnson. He's very easy on the eye when he gets going. On this occasion, punches it straight down the ground, knows he's made good contact, doesn't even take himself out of the popping crease.
Has been quite noticeable that from the end that Jacques Kallis is bowling at the moment. That's the only area where they've found something to bowl into, the seamers. Just a little bit of a spot. Sliced around the offside, there is protection. It's going to be a little bit of a teaser. No, it's not. It's going to go for 4. So there's a back-to-back boundaries for Johnson. He is naturally aggressive and he's strong.
Yeah, Johnson hasn't made anywhere near as good a contact as he did with the previous delivery. That has opened the face in his hands. He's got the same result. Vernon Phelan is quite wide at a wideish backward point, more third-manish position.
The spot that I'm talking about is just outside the line of leg stump, if you like, when the left hand is on strike. So it's going to be easier. It's a good shot and nicely fielded. Whoops, he might have got a bit of cramp as well. That'd be a big hamstring to cramp up, I'd imagine.
That was almost like there was a sniper. Brilliant bit of fielding by Morné Morkel. Got down, got one hand to it. Got his legs into a position where they just cramped up. That's a terrible feeling. Yeah, brilliant piece of fielding. And then he gets in a position to throw, and all of a sudden the cramp comes home.
So why do you think this is happening, Sean? This has been something that's been an issue with the South African side for a long time. Back in your days as well, we saw Vernon Philander struggle earlier today.
Yeah, I think obviously the heat's got something to do with it, and I know they are monitored on a session basis to find out what is going on. But the ground here at Wanderers is very soft underneath, although it's fast over the top when the ball is hit along the ground. It is quite soft underneath, and it does take its toll on the legs. They had a long first session of 2.5 hours this morning, so they've been in the field for a while, and they've now decided to have a drinks break. 276 for 8.
Now those kids on the grass in Bakeman have had a ball today. What's been interesting is they've hardly watched a ball bowled in the middle. They've been playing their own games on the grass bank, but having a great time and full of smiles. Nice to see them at the cricket.
So you're saying when you were that age, you came to watch the cricket?
Absolutely. In fact, I can tell you what I used to do when I was that young. I used to sell ice creams.
Sell ice cream?
Sell ice creams to the public at Adelaide Oval. I used to also open the gate for all the players as they came out. So I was about 9 or 10 years of age.
I used to eat ice creams when I came. Eat ice creams and play cricket at the back of the stadium. And at the lunch break and the tea break.
My dad used to sell tickets. Sell the tickets as they came in the gates at the Victor Richardson Gates, Adelaide Oval. So it was a bit of a family affair. So Steyn, 3 for 59 he's got at the moment. Just sliding down the leg side, but again, straight away, a little bit of movement in the air.
Yeah, right on the money, Dale Steyn. Let's have a look at the release here. It's coming out of his hand nicely, getting the ball to shape back into the left-hander, and that's when he is very effective to left-handers, when he gets that swing going. I saw him clean up Khawaja and Hussey. Now he's looking to do the same to Johnson.
Driving in there, just over the top of Hashim Amla in the covers. Big chase for the skipper, and 2 runs is all they take.
There goes Airborne, trying to find the cover region. The field is spread. As you can see there, Graham Smith back at long off.
You can see there's intent in those eyes. Again, sliding the leg side. One thing that Dale Steyn has said publicly, which has been quite impressive as far as I'm concerned, is that he said he wants to be known as the bowler who bowls quicker at the end of the day than he does at the start of the day. He is daunting, there's no doubt about it. He hasn't quite hit his straps pace-wise today. Got 4 in the first innings in Cape Town. He's got 3 in the first innings here at the Wanderers. And I think that's quite nice to hear when a fast bowler wants to do that, Sean.
Indeed, and he's done it over the years. He backs his words up with the performance. I think that's the key of a champion too, is that not every day that you play in test matches you're feeling 100% and your rhythm feels all that good. But if you can still do a job for your team, you're invaluable. And that's exactly what he's done today. Picked up 3 vital wickets for the South African team and for the country. And he's got the opportunity now to have a dart at Cummins.
Got an edge and a very good catch. Mark Boucher was taking a good grab that time. There's 4 now to Dale Steyn. He has been rewarded. That one was a crick delivery at 138 k's per hour. Good gas from Steyn today. Another wicket, 9 down Australia.
Swinging ball in the right area for Dale Steyn. Cummins has only played 3 first-class games before today. And there you go. It'll do for top order batter, it'll do for low orders. Great catch there by Boucher, going low to his right, and Dale Steyn celebrates. That's his 4th wicket. Now there's an opportunity for a fifer. Cummins is on his way. He goes for 2. Australia 285 for 9.
Nathan Lyon, the off-spinner, number 11. 26 runs he picked up at Newlands when Australia were in a lot of trouble. So that was a good performance from him. Didn't help in the end. Steyn's got 4 and he's charging in. Spars of that one as well. It really was a very good catch by Mark Boucher. It was never going to carry to AB de Villiers.
You can see some shape, good seam position. Yeah, and you're right, it wouldn't have carried all the way to de Villiers. So low to the right, good snatch by Boucher. I think maybe also Mitchell Johnson will be thinking maybe he shouldn't have exposed Cummins to too many deliveries. He still had 3 to go in the over when he took the single.
AB de Villiers said to me this morning in the interview that catches win matches. Always very important at this venue. Found the edge on the bounce. Action packed over that one from Steyn. 285 for 9. I would imagine that Michael Clark and whoever the new coach is going to be, which hasn't been announced yet, acting coach Troy Cooley, new convener John Inverarity, will be quite disturbed by that, or those scores I should say, after the first 2. Only Watson and Hughes doing anything of note for Australia. Tahir, 9 down.
Yeah, here's I think the disappointment from both test matches is the fact that they've got themselves into a strong position and then got themselves back into trouble. They bowled South Africa out cheaply in their first innings in Cape Town, and they were in a strong position here, but they haven't been able to cash in.
Still remarkable to think they had a lead of 188 after both teams have batted once in Cape Town. He'll be starting to think about batting. He'll know he's going to have a bit of a terror session tonight. Jacques Rudolph looked very good, by the way, in the first dig.
Person's also got to question the judgment here by Johnson to take a single off the second delivery of the over. He's the man who's in. Leg spinner bowling into his arc. You would think he would have tried to harbour the strike as much as possible.
Oh, that's almost slid under the bat. He's got himself off the mark. He's saying your call to Mitchell Johnson is to Lyon. Lyon says no, I'm okay down the non-striker's end. Doesn't mind bowling that wrong un. Lead by 21 runs. It's an edge. Running away to third man. It's going to go for 4. All these extra runs are bonus runs now for Australia.
Brings him run Tahir to his knees again. He's given this one a bit of air. Johnson's tried to smother it through the offside. He's got a thick edge. He's beaten the slip. As we've seen so often in this test match so far, you don't chase those down here at the Wanderers. The outfield very quick.
again driving, nice and solid down to long on. I guess the deal right now is to make sure that Nathan Lyon just keeps this one out. Johnson will be the one who will want to face Dale Steyn. He's at the non-strikers end at the moment. And Lyon does exactly that. 292 for 9. Session number 3 isn't finished yet on day 2. It finished with 6 wickets down for 53 on day 1. 5 down at the moment. Bound to be 6, I'm sure, to wrap up this innings at some stage. And then probably a bit of batting from South Africa.
As you can see, the field very much spread for Mitchell Johnson, just a slip and gully and catching positions. They don't want too many boundaries to come. Gives Dale Steyn the license to attack the stumps. And I'm not convinced about this. Taking one off the first delivery, the ball's shaping. Number 11 batsman, leaving him with 5 deliveries to handle. Mitchell Johnson sitting on 36. He should be trying to face as many of the deliveries from Dale Steyn as possible. I would prefer Lyon to be facing deliveries from Imran Tahir than Dale Steyn.
It's got to be totally wrong, you're right. 5 balls now. Look at the work that Steyn's done so far. 13 kilometres is notched up overall. Sprinting almost 1.5 kilometres. Average heart rate isn't bad. Shows he's fit. Ease that away on the leg side just for a single.
Johnson's got faith in his partner and it keeps working out for them. Every time he's on strike he picks up a single. The marvellous performer Dale Steyn has been once again. As we mentioned, probably wasn't at the top of his game at the start of this innings, but he's come good for South Africa. Picked up 4 wickets, vital wickets, and there's what he's covered so far. Nearly 8 Ks walking, 4 Ks jogging and 1.4 sprinting.
We've got one on Robin Jackman as well, actually. It's hasn't registered yet, except for the average heartbeat, which is about the same, and he's done nothing.
And saying that, you do have to get up those stairs from the pitch to the commentary box. We sit up very high here at the Wanderers.
So here's the chance. Steyn will know. He's got half an over here to maybe disturb the furniture or get an edge from Nathan Lyon. He's on 2 at the moment. Then there'll be a 10-minute changeover. The opening batsman for South Africa will be thinking about it already, as will Hashim Amla at number 3. Allows that one to go through. Steyn was absolutely terrific to right-handers in Cape Town. Let's have a look and see where he has been today as well. Yep, very good channels. The 2 pulsing white balls around about 6 metres from the base of the stumps. And of course you add the swing factor. That's why he's got 4 wickets. That's just to right-handers. Oh, there's the end swinger. Oh, and it's down. He's grasped it. He's put it down. Substitute fielder has grasped that one. That's a disappointment for him, of course.
Yeah. It's one of the easiest of catches, but when you're a substitute fielder who just plays for provincial cricket and you come onto a test arena, it can be difficult.
Steyn again. Would have had 5, not to be. He'll be disappointed. 295 for 9. My apologies, Dale Deeb. I'll have to just mention that you were the man that was in the covers very briefly. You're off the park now, just because Morne Morkel's come back on after recovering from that cramp that he had. But look at that, 5 wickets for 75 runs in this session so far. Plays for the Lions. That's why I was doing the sub-fielding. It's quite interesting if you have a look at there's a few clouds that are just starting to build up a little bit as well, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Plenty of sunshine right now.
They actually had 12 on the field for that delivery, Hayes.
Oh, did they?
Paul Harris was on, and that's why the second 12th man or 13th man was on.
So that normally doesn't work, does it? 12 on the park.
And Vernon Philander and Morne Morkel off the field, and now they've come back on. And you'll see Paul Harris finding his way around the boundary.
He won't be impressed.
Now they've got to meet and they've got to confer. That's obviously might be a penalty of runs for having too many fielders on the park.
We'll have to see what comes after this little discussion, but goodness me, that just shouldn't happen, should it? Sean, you might have tried that a few times when you were captain.
Hold on.
No, I'm saying you might have tried it, might have thought about it if you're allowed to do it.
We always love to have an extra guy in the field at times, but we never tried it. Okay, well, no harm done. I don't think there's any penalty runs being awarded to Australia.
Swung away on the leg side.
Although funny enough, the extra fielder was actually at short cover, and that was where Mitchell Johnson hit the ball to on that delivery. Now it was vacant for the next delivery, so anyway.
Reminds me of a story actually when Northern Transvaal were playing against Transvaal. Graham Pollock, the great Graham Pollock, of course your Uncle Graham, was smashing everyone to all parts, and Gordon McMillan was bowling for Northern Transvaal, and if I'm not mistaken it was Lee Barnard who was captain, and Lee went over to chat to Gordon and said, listen Gordon, how's the field? Jeeps is playing well, we know that, do you want to change it at all? And Gordon suggested that Noel Day as keeper should move out from behind the stumps because he hasn't touched the ball. Oh, that's out. That's going to be out. Yep. Imran Tahir has picked up another wicket. Brilliant stuff from him. He's got 3 now. That's wrapped up the innings. It's exactly what the spinners have to do. Australia now all out for 296.
Tahir delivers a perfect googly once again. Lyon goes back on his stumps. The ball turns, traps him in front. And that's as plumb as can be. Australia are bowled all out for 296. Billy Bowden raises his finger. 3 wickets for Tahir. And as we mentioned, a man with a bit of mystery, a leg spinner, creates these kind of problems for tailenders, and that's exactly what he's done. He's wrapped up the tail, and he's done a really good job. So the drop catch doesn't cost South Africa too many runs. Australia lead by 30 runs. Australia all out for 296. Lyon, the last man to go for 2. LBW Tahir.
Amazing to think. None for 174 at one stage. Tahir can be well pleased with that work. His first wicket in Test cricket, of course. Added 2 more to that. Finished with 3. Steyn should have had 5. Ends up with 4. And South Africa have fought back beautifully. We were talking that South Africa messed it up yesterday when they lost 6 wickets for 25 runs. They certainly did that, but Australia have certainly collapsed again. And this session so far, I say so far because we've still got play to go, 6 for 76.
Left-handed batsman Graham Smith, 93 matches, more than 7,500 runs, an average of 50. Jacques Rudolph is his new partner at the other end. 36 test matches to his name. Average in the mid-30s. 500s and 850s, and he'll want to get going in this, his a renewed career, because he's back and he's come back after 35 tests after about 5 years. 3 slips in the gully, backward point, and it is Mitchell Johnson who's going to take the new ball. Issue of light perhaps being discussed out there.
Most definitely, it's coming in very quickly. I don't think we'll be playing for too long. Probably 10-15 minutes tops. The lights are really shining brightly. Graham Smith taking as much time as possible.
If you look closely at the players, you'll see that their shadows, there's 3 or 4 that you can see, and generally that gives you the indication that it's the lights at the stadium that have taken over rather than the natural light. We're going to get underway though. Mitchell Johnson. Very short run up that time. Not sure why. Something new perhaps he's trying.
That may be the case. It did seem very, very short. And there are times where Mitchell does try that in the nets, and he bowls quite well. Doesn't drop much in pace. Worth trying.
It tends to be the case with some blokes that you don't have to run up as far and can still bowl just as quick. Normally around the 140 clicks mark, without trying, so to speak, just runs up and get it 140, 142. So far around 100 mid 130s. We're talking in the first innings. He should have been the man to take the new ball against the South African left-handers. Yep, they're looking around. The umpires, umpire Ian Gould, and there is a benchmark set, and it would have been set yesterday. They'd have noted the reading at the time of going off yesterday, and they'll keep it in mind today. And as soon as that reading registers on the light meter, they'll say, off we go. The question here, they're going across, I think, perhaps to the pitch to take the reading there. They might go off and have a chat to Michael Clarke if it's not quite there, and they think it's not too good for the fast bowlers, and say, do you want to use your slower bowlers? It was the case yesterday, certainly, when they spoke to Graham Smith. Say you're going to use your fast bowlers. If you are, then can't go on. They're staying on.
It's only a matter of minutes before we go off here. The way the weather's come in the last 10 to 15 minutes. It was bright sunshine 15 minutes ago. Now it's quite gloomy. The lights do make a difference, but yeah, look, tough for the batting side at this time.
Tough being an opening batsman, particularly when the situation is like this, because you've got to try and keep your mind clear, don't you, and watch the ball. And you can see that change room, that South African change room, very agitated because of the way things are going. And Graham Smith, that's a smile, but I tell you what, it's more out of relief than anything else, because if another ball is bowled, he's thinking, well, it could be the one that comes off the edge. And how often have you seen it? Nick off, gone to slip, and then you go off.
Many times I have seen that. Many times. It sounds ridiculous, but that does happen incredibly, way too often. But I cannot see much further play. The lights are taking full effect here, and the umpires have decided it's dangerous against the quicker bowlers and unfair. I think that's written in there somewhere as well. Not sure. I'll have to read the light rule one day. Jack, as we were sitting here yesterday at this same time, as I'm joined by Robin Jackman, just to discuss the merits of the light rule. Light meters, do you bowl spinners? Are they any easier to see? Certainly not the danger factor, I suppose.
No, the danger factor's not there, Alan. But if maybe we can get some pictures of the shadows of the umpires out there. It's very clear that there are 4 shadows per person. Okay, anyone that you want to see or pick out around the ground, just standing still, there are 4 shadows, which is quite clearly indicates that the artificial light has taken over. And the reason why they've been spending 2 years to develop a ball in which you can play Test cricket in white clothing at night, and they're looking at this orange or pink, whatever, is because the red ball isn't good enough. Therefore, once the artificial lights take over, why are you playing cricket with a red ball? That's all I'm saying. So I don't think they should have been playing last night, and I think these umpires are quite right to have taken them off tonight. I don't know why they bowled an extra ball, but that's another story. But these decisions are made by committees that then instruct the umpires. So, we can talk about it forever, but the bottom line is rules are being made which frankly don't work, because how can you be on one hand trying to find a way to play night Test cricket in white clothing with a white sight screen, and the red ball isn't good enough? How can you be playing with a red ball when the artificial lights have taken over the normal light?
And you just have a look at that sky. That probably tells the story. As we have a look at the match summary, South Africa 266, dominated by de Villiers and Callis. Fantastic performance from those two. Some good bowling from Siddle and Clark. And then Australia in response, at one stage, none for 170. Hughes and Watson fantastic at the top of the order, but then Dale Steyn and the rest of the bowlers struck back after lunch, and Imran Tahir finished off the tail. So South Africa are 30 runs behind, and we've had an enthralling day's play.